So I'm really happy to be here today. I love this model because this model is probably the most effective implementation of BRT anywhere, and you actually see increasingly around the country the repurposing of existing lanes. It doesn't get less expensive than that. Basically, that's paint out there, and then putting in decent stops to go along with it is going to be a real, I think, benefit for this community. I've started riding public transportation when I was a kid. I still remember the trolleys in D.C. that did a turnaround at Eastern Avenue and Georgia Avenue, so that's how far back I go. And I think my most famous bus ride is I took the bus to Dr. King's March on Washington when I was like 13 years old. And it was a combination of a bus in Montgomery County and then the bus that went from Silver Spring. So I've ridden buses before, and I know they're really important. They're a vital way for people to get around the community, and in communities, particularly lower-income communities that don't have the incomes for cars, or they have one car and they have multiple workers, somebody's taking public transportation. And so having reliable transportation that is frequent, transportation that goes to the right places is really, really critical. There are going to be multiple ride-on routes. One of the major, this is a ride-on route. Hopefully over time, these ride-on routes will become the home of the BRTs, and ride-on will evolve to serve the BRT network. And that's where we're ultimately going with all this. One of our biggest projects is the project from Wheaton to Rockville along Veers Mill Road. And obviously Veers Mill Road connecting to this is another opportunity for people here to get to Wheaton, to get to Rockville, to be able to travel up and down the Pike on what will ultimately be bus rapid transit on Rockville Pike, as well as go down on the subway from Georgia Avenue, wherever else you're going. So there's a lot of connectivity that comes when we start putting things like this in place. We're looking for ways to support metro buses. About 9,300 riders per day ride the Metro C2 and C4 bus lines on University Boulevard. We've looked at BRT as being not just a Montgomery County thing, but we're agnostic to whose buses run on the system, as long as we have buses running on the system and running on the system regularly. This is the first major roadway in the county, and it's the largest dedicated bus lane in the county to date. The new dedicated lines can provide transit riders with a faster, more reliable service, and we're really excited about being able to say that to people. We're working on bus priority project to put more of these bus lanes in. Something like this may be the treatment you see on George Avenue, for example, when Metro shuts down for 3 months or 4 months or however long it takes the Purple Line to fix that part of the road. When we do that, this is the most logical thing to do on George Avenue, is to paint the lane in and let the buses run on George Avenue, because that's a lot of people who are not going to be able to get transit. And we don't want those people going in cars, so we're going to have to pick them up and make it possible for them to use transit to get to work. This is going to advance our goals. These lanes, like I said, it's the first major roadway. It's the largest dedicated bus lane in the county. It's 2 miles in each direction right now. And the dedicated lanes along the corridor will help reduce the delay in bus transit times caused by traffic congestion about 20%. And as buses run faster, more people ride the buses. There is a wealth of information in transportation data that shows the closer that the bus trips approximates a car trip, the more people switch to a bus. And so that timing difference actually makes a real difference whether people are going to choose a bus or whether they're going to stay in their car. It operates like light rail. It's going to go up and down the corridor buses every 7 to 15 minutes, depending on the time of day. Off-board payment, things like signal priority, and in these dedicated bus lanes. And signal priority is kind of like the holy grail of all this, because if the bus doesn't have to wait at lights, if the bus has the ability to switch lights so that the bus can go through, it gives it a real advantage over automobiles. And if you're sitting in a car in a line of traffic and you see the buses going by you and then going through a light, you might think twice about whether you want to make that car trip again. So we're excited about where this is going. I already told you about Veers Mill 350, Veers Mill, also 355 is getting flash lanes and part of it, and you're going to see more flash coming to this quarter. So we're excited about where we're going. We continue to be hampered in Montgomery County, to be honest, in our ability to build things. We've been making the case that Northern Virginia's taxing districts and their style of taxing, which does not rely on residents, but relies on commercial taxes, allows them to pour money into their transit programs that we never see in Montgomery County. Northern Virginia Transit Authority puts about $500 million a year into Northern Virginia counties. And that doesn't count the property taxes and other taxes in Northern Virginia counties that are dedicated solely to transportation, amounts of money that dwarf anything we get from the state and anything we generate internally. So we're hoping eventually to get the authority to do that, because it would be a game changer for Montgomery County and would allow us to compete with Virginia in terms of providing the public transportation that we need. Benefits of public transit: every $10 million in a capital investment results in $30 million in increased business sales, and $10 million in transportation operating investments yields about $32 million in increased business sales. And that's just the business sales part of it. When business sales go up and a place becomes more attractive, more businesses want to locate there. If they feel their customers can get there and their workforce can get there, it makes other people feel like maybe we should go and locate in this place. And that's where we're hoping we get to go with this. And obviously there are climate implications of bus rapid transit. We have 14 zero-emission buses. We have a contract for 100 more within the next 3 years. Our big challenge in buses is getting delivery of the buses from the companies and the supply chain. But when those buses come, it's going to make a huge difference in our emissions output. And this also provides equity for our average county bus rider. Their income of an average bus rider is about $35,000. That's about a fourth of the Montgomery County's average wage. What do you call it? Area median income, and that's a challenge. So you know who's riding the bus, and it's really all the more important for them to have the buses available to them. The lanes are also going to support school buses, which should be a big help in the morning, not having the school buses lumbering through traffic. It should help gets the kids' schools faster and safer. And Northwood is right down there, and Blair is just to the south of it. So this is going to be something I think a lot of people are going to see benefits from. I'm very happy to be doing this. I want to thank, our team, Chris Conklin and everybody in your department who helps make this possible. I want to thank the state for the support you've given us. I want to thank WMATA for partnering with us on this together. Doing this together, we can make this a success, and I think we set the stage for doing more and more of this in Montgomery County. So thank everybody very much for being here.